Hello, math friends. Welcome back to A Squared Math and Stuff. In this example, we are looking at the second method of calculating the determinant of a 3 by 3 matrix, and this method is the lattice method. How we work with this is we actually have to expand what this looks like. And by expand, what we're going to do is copy column 1, and then we're going to copy column 2 over here. So let's recopy column 1, and it's 6, -5, 1. And let's copy over column 2, so 5, 4, and -4. So again, I've just expanded this matrix by duplicating column 1 and column 2. And once we have that, we are able to create this lattice method of multiplying, adding, and subtracting. And what we do is we start with the top left-hand corner, so row 1, column 1 of our original matrix. And what we do is we create a diagonal with all of the numbers. And we are going to multiply all of these numbers together. So what we have is 6 times 4 times 5. And because we are going downward, we are going to add these values together. So we add down and we subtract when we make our diagonals go upward. The next diagonal we're going to work with is the 5, -2, and 1. So we're going to add, because we just went downward from top to bottom, we have 5 times -2 times 1. And we're going to do that one more time because we have one more complete 3-number diagonal that we can make. And that goes -3, -5, -4. So we went from top down to the bottom. So we can add those. So we have plus -3 times -5 times -4. There's no other numbers over here for us to complete a diagonal with 3 numbers. So now we are going to work our way from the bottom to the top, or upward. I'm going to start with row 3, column 1, so that bottom left-hand corner, and create an upward diagonal. So because I'm going upward, I'm now going to subtract these values. So I'll have 1 times 4 times -3. 1 times 4 times -3. I then move on to my next value, which is a -4, and I have 3 numbers that I can connect to multiply them together, and they're going upward, so we subtract -4 times -2 times 6, and then our last diagonal that we can make goes upward from 5 to -5 up to that +5. So we have to subtract that. I'm going to write that right down here. We have 5 times -5 times the +5. So all we have to do now is multiply each of these and then add the terms all together. Let's go ahead and do that. We will end up with 120 minus 10, because we have a positive times a negative, and then 3 negatives times a positive give us negative. So negative, we got 15 times 3, I'm sorry, 20 times 3 gives us a -60. And then negative times negative gives us +12. Moving on to the pink here, we have a triple negative. So that means we remain negative, and we have 8 times 6, 48. And then lastly, this negative is here. So we have a double negative. 5 times 5 times 5 is 125, so it's a positive 125. And when we add all of those values together, we get 139. So I don't know if you noticed, but this is the exact same example that I worked with in the previous video for the minors and cofactors. I'll show that to you really quick. The exact same matrix. And when we worked through all of the minors and cofactors, we got the determinant to be 139. So they should be, if it's the determinant, that value should not change. So we did this correctly. Let's go ahead and do a second example. And this second example is the exact same matrix I worked with in my previous video with minors and cofactors. Let's do the same process. So we are expanding this matrix by 2 columns. We are duplicating column 1 and column 2. So we have a -3, 0, 3, and then column 2 to duplicate is 2, -1, 0. And let's go ahead, make our diagonals. Remember, we add when we are going down, and we subtract when our arrows are going up or when we are moving in the upward direction. Starting down, starting with that top left-hand corner, working our way down, we have -3 times -1 times -3. We are then going down again, so we will add 2 times -1 times 3. Going down our last time, we will have plus, because we're going down, -3 times 0 times 0. Now we will work our way up, starting with the bottom left-hand corner. So now we subtract, and it's 3 times -1 times -3. Starting at the 0, working our way up, we have minus, because we're going up, 0 times -1 times -3. And lastly, we are starting with the -3, going up, and we're subtracting that. We have -3 times 0 times 2. So anything with zeros in here, we can just delete out because 0 times anything is 0. So we don't even have to calculate those. We are then left with 3 times 1 times 3. They're all negative, so we will have a -9. We then have the purple here. 2 times -1 times 3 gives us a -6. 0, and then the last thing we have to calculate is that green. Triple negative, 3 times 3 gives us -9. And when we add this all together, -18 plus 6 is a -24. And again, the exact same example as my previous video, which we calculated the determinant to be a -24. So check mark, done. So the lattice method is a little bit more organized of a method. The only thing that is a little bit difficult for students to remember is when to add and subtract. So either use the minors or cofactors or the lattice method unless you are told to use a specific method. If you like what you saw, go ahead, hit that subscribe button. I will be chatting with you later.